What has the president done in his first couple weeks in office? Well, he signed an executive order banning transgender athletes from participating in women's sports. He signed an order ending government support for the use of paper straws. He fired the leadership of the Kennedy Center and said, I'll be in charge of that. Thank you very much. And his White House has blocked the Associated Press from certain spaces because they refuse to call it the Gulf of America instead of the Gulf of Mexico. These are some of the things that are, I don't know, getting attention. Are they the most important things? I don't know, but Dave Dulio does, the director of the Center for Civic Engagement at Oakland University, a distinguished professor in the political science department, and he takes the radio stage right now. Welcome back to the airwaves.
Good morning, Michael Patrick. Thanks for having me.
Speaking of the Pope, I thought that Tom Homan guy, the Borders Are guy, man alive, he's got an answer for everything. And somebody asked him the other day, the Pope's been attacking you for your immigration stance. And did you hear what he said? He said, I'm a lifelong Catholic. I was baptized in First Communion and confirmed. He says, the Pope ought to stick to what he's doing and let me take care of the border. He can take care of the church and I'll take care of the border. Wow.
Well, Tom Homan, if Tom Homan is one thing, it is laser focused on his assignment. He is seemingly never wavering in his dedication, let's put it, to trying to stem the tide of illegal border crossings, that's for sure.
Is that a bull in a china shop or a necessary evil?
Oh, I think that depends on your perspective. I think Democrats would call it a bull in the china shop, and Republicans would call it, since we're talking about the Pope, manna from heaven.
Nice play. Well played, Professor. That's very cool. He also sort of went after Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, the congresswoman, the Democrat, because she did a Zoom or something telling migrants, don't answer the door when the ICE comes knocking for you, and had some advice about how to sort of avoid being deported. And he said, is that, obstruction? He says, I'm no lawyer, but I think we ought to find out. Was that warranted?
Again, it depends on your perspective, right? It's I think we could extend the Congresswoman's actions to many around the country who are in charge of jurisdictions, whether they be cities or counties or even states in some cases, that have labeled themselves as sanctuaries. And, they have made it very clear that they are not going to cooperate with the immigrations and customs enforcement folks. They're not going to cooperate with Mr. Homan's his crew, I guess you could call it. And you have to wonder, I think, if that is appropriate. Are they ignoring immigration law? What's the, great question about how does the federal government's power mesh with that of the state and local government's power?
Is it lawfare? This is the thing. Nobody believes anything anymore. They're not sure if it's pure of heart or what is the letter of the law and so forth and so on. And there were people at the Michigan Capitol yesterday protesting on President's Day, and in Grand Rapids and other places too, that it's not my President's Day. Is that a healthy attitude?
Oh, I think it's fine. It's peaceful dissent has been a major component of the United States, forever. And I won't say back to the beginning, because the dissent there was not peaceful, right? We had the Revolutionary War, but in the decades and centuries since, people are letting their voices be heard, and I think that's an important part of American democracy.
Did you ever think you would see people complaining that they don't think Donald Trump's in charge? He found a bigger boogeyman to sort of take some of the headwind, it seems like, in Elon Musk.
They certainly seem to have found their next target, right? And I wonder how much of that is, boy, we tried to get Trump on all these things, and we attacked him relentlessly for years and years, and it didn't work. So maybe we need to shift our focus. But I think that is maybe unwise. I think that you look at the at the polling numbers that are coming out in the first 3 weeks of the Trump administration, and he's got his highest job approval ever, which is relatively low. But I mean, he couldn't get out of the 30s in his first term, and now he's in the mid 50s. I think that the things that Elon Musk is attempting to do are, frankly, pretty popular. Finding, what some Americans would say are, ridiculous programs and means of spending money. I think that Americans look at some of that and go, you got to be kidding me. We're spending millions and billions of dollars on this when we have our own problems here at home. So I think that's, it's, hate the game, not the player. And that's, I don't think they're doing that, the opponents.
You have an article in the Detroit News, Dave Dulio, and it says, Dulio, America needs a civics lesson. I would hardly describe the level of education you provide as a professor as simply a civics lesson.
Well, I appreciate those kind words, but I think we really do need to get back to basics. And the thesis of the op-ed is simply that, we've got folks on the left who are saying things like we're in this constitutional crisis, and we've got folks on the right who are decrying the courts for ruling against the president. And, we in the first less than a month of the Trump administration, we've seen this sort of whiplash on a daily basis between left and right and reaction to what's happening, when it would serve us much better if folks would just take a pause and think about what they're saying before they say it. Are we in a constitutional crisis? Maybe that depends on your perspective. But certainly, on the right with the court cases, that's part of the process. This is what happens. It's normal in the course of things for presidents to try to overreach, and they get smacked down by the courts. It's happened in every presidency in modern history. So,
perspective.